IF response was directed only at military installations, avoiding civilian and collateral damage.
Following nearly 3 weeks of intense cross-border hostilities, India and Pakistan narrowly averted a full-scale war. On 10th of May, both countries agreed to pause military operations, a fragile understanding that came into effect at 5 p.m. This verbal ceasefire brought the two nuclear-armed neighbors back from the brink, following an alarming escalation that began with a devastating terror attack in Jammu and Kashmir. In this video, we break down the timeline of the crisis and what has happened so far. Terrorists attacked tourists on 22nd of April at the popular Baisaran meadow in Jammu and Kashmir's Pahalgam that killed 26 people. The resistance front initially claimed responsibility but later denied involvement. The group is allegedly linked to the terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba. New Delhi accused Islamabad of failing to dismantle the terror infrastructure within the latter's territory.
The Indus Waters Treaty of 1960 will be held in abeyance with immediate effect.
Tensions escalated rapidly. On 23rd of April, India convened a high-level security meeting and announced a series of retaliatory measures by suspending the Indus Waters Treaty, closing the Atari border checkpost, revoking visa privileges to Pakistani nationals, and expelling Pakistani military attaches. The following day, Pakistan responded by suspending the Shimla Agreement, closing its airspace to Indian flights, halting trade through Wagah border, and expelling Indian diplomats. Between 25th of April and 6th of May, ceasefire violations along the line of control became frequent. Cross-border shelling intensified, with both sides exchanging fire across multiple sectors in Jammu and Kashmir. On 7th of May, India launched Operation Sindoor, a decisive military operation aimed at dismantling 9 terrorist camps across Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri described the strikes as a measured exercise in self-defense, deliberately avoiding Pakistani military installations. In retaliation, Pakistan launched a wave of missile and drone strikes on 7th and 8th of May, deploying up to 400 drones over Indian cities. Many were neutralized by Indian air defenses and jamming systems. India responded with a counter-drone strike, disabling several Pakistani air defense units, including one in Lahore. A third wave of missile and drone attacks followed on 9th of May, significantly escalating the crisis.
On the night of 8th and 9th of May, they flew drones and aircrafts into our airspace all across the borders and made largely unsuccessful attempts to target numerous military infrastructure.
On the same day, the IMF approved $1 billion in funding for Pakistan. India abstained from the vote, criticizing the decision and expressing concerns that the funds could indirectly support terror or military activities. India has long alleged that Pakistan misuses multilateral funding, noting that the country has entered 28 IMF programs over the past 35 years with little substantive reform. Indian forces launched strikes on military bases inside Pakistan, including Noor Khan, Rafiki, Murid, Sukkur, Sialkot, Pasrur, Chunian, Sargoda, Skardu, Olari, Chakokabad, and Malid cantonment in Karachi. This marked the first known instance of a country targeting the Air Force installations of a nuclear-armed adversary. Simultaneously, India's Ministry of External Affairs accused Pakistan of targeting urban centers, including schools, hospitals, and military bases. As fears of another round of strikes loomed, reports emerged of US intervention. At around 3:30 p.m., Pakistan's Director General of Military Operations contacted his Indian counterpart, proposing a stop to all hostilities by land, air, and sea, effective from 5 p.m.
The Director General of Military Operations of Pakistan called the Director General of Military Operations of India at 15:35 hours earlier this afternoon. It was agreed between them that both sides would stop all firing and military action on land and in the air and sea with effect from 1700 hours Indian Standard Time today.
However, by nightfall, explosions echoed across Srinagar. Foreign Secretary Misri acknowledged repeated violations of the military understanding. Unlike a formal ceasefire, which is legally binding and monitored, this was a verbal agreement, fragile, informal, and already under stress. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the nation for the first time since the launch of Operation Sindoor. He said India has only paused military action against Pakistan and added that India would not tolerate any nuclear blackmail.
कोई भी न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल भारत नहीं सहेगा। न्यूक्लियर ब्लैकमेल की आड़ में पनप रहे आतंकी ठिकानों पर भारत सटीक और निर्णायक प्रहार करेगा।
The situation remains volatile. A single miscalculation could spark a new conflict. What's your take? Could another provocation push the region into war? Drop us your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video insightful, like, share and subscribe to Business Standard for more analysis on global geopolitics.